myself will suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious, so I move.
Peace and peace, Black family. This is Vicky Dillard, your sister with the curly braids. And I want you to get ready for the new Master Elements project, The Spear and the Shield.
This vaccine isn't experimental. It's like a dandelion. You overlook it for their weird science.
DJ RP Beats and Sincere Love the God have taken this time during the pandemic to carefully craft the soundtrack to Black empowerment with hot tracks like God Mine, featuring Sadat X of the legendary group Brand Nubians.
We never die. I made an ancestral shrine. Let's see what's in the God's mind. Listen, I'm a law in the person of Sincere Love the God. That mean your arms too short like Claude Anthony.
God painted me black.
God painted me black. Thanks for that. I'm a mention man.
A letter to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing.
I say to the ancestors, dear Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, I just wanted to thank you for all the lessons you left us. So yes, I'm more than grateful.
And the controversial song Buck Breaking God today.
Why every black show they gotta have a transgender? Either I'm crazy or this gotta be a planned agenda.
Get ready, Black family. This is a much needed project. This is The Spear and the Shield.
Celebrate the foundational Black American culture of freedom, fighting, and resistance with the first annual ethnicity 5K run. This cultural experience will honor our FBA ancestors and icons while harnessing energy from our past to power our future. There will be security at this event to ensure everyone has a safe and enjoyable experience. Ethnicity Run is a cultural event for family and friends. Strollers and wheelchairs are welcome. The in-person event will include a free 1-mile fun walk and will be held on December 17th in Tampa, Florida. Unable to make the live event? You can also participate virtually anywhere from December 17th to December 30th. All registered participants will receive the official Ethnicity Run finisher medal, t-shirt, and more with the ability to upload their race time to the official site. Live event participants will receive the time race scores, professional finisher photo, video, and your name will be announced as you're welcomed across the finish line. Enjoy the post-race after party and refuel with a traditional FBA breakfast. You can also help us settle fun family debates like sugar or salt and grits. Prepare with family workouts and runs and post on social media using the hashtag #RetSayRun. For registered info and sponsorship opportunities, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Click the link in the bio. Hope to see you all there.
All right, family. Peace to the gods. Peace to the gods. Thank you all for joining Sincere Love the GodCast this afternoon. We're going to start the show off like we always do with a word from one of the master teachers. And today's word is from none other than Dr. Claude Anderson. And so while I got the short clip playing, you guys take the time to like the video, share this video out on your social media platforms, and let everybody know that we are live. And if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel and you're watching this on another platform, please head on over to the YouTube and click the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of Sincere Love the GodCast. And now a word from the master scholar, Dr. Claude Anderson.
Now, Reverend Meeks asked me to come this morning and speak about Black history. He knows that one of the things that I deeply enjoy and appreciate doing is talking about the dilemmas of Black folk in America. That comes from my mother, who used to sit and read to me from the Bible when I was a young man. And I used to sit and watch her cry and soak her feet at night, because in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, she had to work in a tobacco factory where she'd stand up all day long and stem tobacco until her fingers would bleed. She would come home and soak them. And I would sit there and cry with her. And I would say, one day, I want to be like Samson out of the Bible and go back and fight for Black folk and correct these kind of conditions for Black folk in the land. So I won't be any more Black mothers suffering like my mother suffered. And so what I did, I tried my best after being in politics and all levels of politics for a number of years, being in the White House with President Carter, being over education for the state of Florida, being the Black first assistant secretary in the United States Department of Commerce, and being over a board of governors, chairman for a board of governors. I said, I must bring all my intelligence and experience to bear to see if I can solve some of these problems for Black people in this country. And so the first thing I did, I wrote a book called Black Labor, White Wealth, to define the problems for Black folk in America like it's never been defined before. It ain't about all this stuff about personalities. It's about what are the conditions? What are the conditions that precipitated black folk getting into this dilemma? And what black labor, white wealth did, it tracked 800 years of history in very systematic terms to show you every strategy, every technique, every law, every public custom, and every public policy that was used to enslave black folk around the world and to maldistribute almost 100% of all this nation's wealth, power, resource, privileges, businesses, and controls of all levels of government into the hands of the dominant white society. And what slavery and Jim Crow segregation did with black folk, it intentionally maldistributed all the resources away from black folk and created a real life monopoly game. Black folk in America are playing in a real life monopoly game that you're totally ill prepared to play and win. And if you know anything about monopoly, monopoly is based on everybody sitting down and getting a fair share of the resources, the money in their hand before the game starts. Black folk, you can't play because you never got your 40 acres and a mule. You're sitting playing a game that you're not going to win. And if you know anything about monopoly, the primary principles that go around the board and take the money that you have and buy land and buy the best land around the board. And if you can't buy land, then you buy businesses like electric company, the railroad, and the water company. And you buy your land, and when you develop your land, you put houses on it. And once you could receive enough rent from people landing on your houses, you then take your money and buy hotels. And then after you buy the hotels, you sit there and wait for all the rest to come around and land on your property and bring some wealth and power home to you. And see, my people have been playing real life monopoly with no money, going around the board hoping the world that they can land on free park and income tax and charity. And you play that kind of a game in real life monopoly, sooner or later, you're going to land on the wrong property. And you land on the wrong property in monopoly, you got two choices. You either go to jail or you go bankrupt and get out of the game. And black folk are playing in a real life monopoly game. And I wrote Black Labor, White Wealth to tell you exactly what the game was and how you're not playing it right. And then I followed that up with another book called Powernomics, says now that tracks and picks up exactly where black labor, white wealth left off. And I'm delighted by the fact that black folk took that book, Black Labor, White Wealth, and went to Geneva, Switzerland, and filed for reparations around the world. And that book then sets the premise of what your problem is in America. In America, your problem is simple. You do not own and control anything of wealth and resources. You do not own and control anything more than 1/2 or 1% of anything important in the society. And yet, by the same token, you're bearing 600 to 800 times your fair share of everything that's bad. And consequently, we cannot play and win, and people wonder why black folk live the way they do, why every black neighborhood looks like Beirut bombed out. It's that way because we do not own and control any resources and never have. And so in Powernomics, I said, if you're going to play the game, here's a book that I've systematically analyzed all the conditions around the world with all of my experiences, not only in government and in education, but also as a safety and survival engineer for the Marine Corps, where I had to try to deal with our prisoners coming out of POW camps. Here's how you play the game and win in Powernomics, the national plan to empower black folk. That book and all those books are going to be in the rear room and for you to purchase this morning. But most importantly, the third book that I wrote was called Dirty Little Secrets About Black History, Black Heroes, and Other Troublemakers. And I've written 2 of those books. And the purpose of those books are to tell you that you are special people, very special people as black folk. That absolutely nothing has happened in the last 400 or 500 years that black folk did not either directly were involved in or indirectly did not cause. You were the engines that drove civilizations around the world for 300 years. You as black folk are not guests in America. You are not guests on this earth. You walk on sacred ground paid for by the blood, sweat, and tears and suffering and sacrificing of millions of black people. They paid for you to walk on this earth with your head high and to be proud. All the blacks who shine shoes and wash clothes and wash dishes and pick cotton, you all deserve to have a better condition on this earth. And Dirty Little Secrets tell you why you're special people. And later on in my discourse this morning, I'm going to point out the three things I'm going to talk about. First is the state of Black America presently. Secondly is how we got into our dilemma. The third thing to tell you that you are not only special people on this earth, but you've always had a special relationship with God that no other people have ever had.
Right.
All right, family, peace, peace, peace. Let me get this closed. Let me get this closed out of here. All right, family, peace. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. I am the God, Sincere Love, and today I will not be joined by my lovely co-host, nyctegur. She is out living her best life right now somewhere. I believe she's attending a wedding, actually. So shout out to my co-host, nyctegur, and to the lovely couple who is getting married today, man. Shout out to them as well. I don't like how this looks with just my picture on the screen, man. I ain't used to this. I don't really like how this look with just my picture on the screen. Can I make it smaller or something? Can I make it look different? I guess not. I guess that's what it is. But it's all good. We here, and we gonna make it do what it do. Appreciate everybody tapping in with me this afternoon. I'm gonna do my absolute best to hold it down dolo today. And so everybody, please make sure that you hit the like button, share this out on your social media platforms. And again, if you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, if you're watching this on another platform, please head on over to the YouTube, type in my name, Sincere Love the God, hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you can be reminded whenever we go live with new episodes of the Godcast. We usually do this each and every Sunday around 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And also, I need everybody to stay tuned for season 2 of the Black Business Showcase. We are definitely getting ready to launch season 2 of the Black Business Showcase real soon. Stay tuned for the date announcement of when that's going to be. And we're getting some of the guests lined up as we speak. So if you or anybody that you know is a business owner, entrepreneur, and you would like to be a guest on the Black Business Showcase, just hit me up. I'm at Sincere Love the God on all social media platforms. I'm most active on Instagram. So if you just hit me up on the DM and Instagram and just let me know what you got going on, and we will get everything set up to get you on the schedule for season 2 of the Black Business Showcase. So stay tuned for that. So first of all, I just want to say peace to the gods in the building. I see y'all up in here pretty heavy early. You know what I'm saying? G&G Firearms going on, family. Cool Keezy. Good to see you, brother. Great Black Shark. Peace, peace, peace. Nikki the God. Some chick named Star. Crown 808. What's going on, family? What's going on with everybody? Bassy, ENT, shout out to you. Harold Hamilton, B1. Afro Elite, peace, peace, peace. Matiwos Estafanos. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Matiwos Estafanos. Black men is the underlinks of the world. ER. Cynthia G is right. Okay. The most conquered, defeated male group ever. Never competent for nuclear weapons and military power and the Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Whatever your name is. Okay, whatever your name is. Listen, mods. He's welcome, or she. I'm not sure what's going on there. But don't hit the block button or nothing crazy just yet. As long as they don't start trolling or nothing, they welcome to tap in and offer their insight and opinion on the topic of discussion. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to have an echo chamber in here. Everybody don't got to agree with everything that I say on here. So, you know, your opinion is welcome, brother, sister. I'm not sure how to say your name or if you're a male or female or what your pronouns might be. But as long as you don't start trolling, you're good to go. All right. So today's topic, man. Today's topic is foundational Black Americans. Are we still African? That is the question. Are foundational Black Americans still African? Black Alpha Network in the building. Peace, what's going on? Are foundational Black Americans still African? And y'all could put a yes or no in the chat, or put your whatever your answer to that question would be in the chat, and a brief explanation in the chat. I definitely appreciate everybody contributing to the conversation. Like I said, man, I'm used to being here with my co-host and having her energy to bounce off of. I do much better in situations like that. So I'm gonna need y'all to engage with me so I could bounce off of y'all as well. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna answer the question by saying yes and no. Are foundational Black Americans still African? I say that the answer is yes and no. Right? Sometimes these things are not mutually exclusive, right? Two things can be true. My brother Great Black Shark says culturally, no. Genetically, for some of us, partially, yes. Hold on, okay. Bad seed. Culturally, nope. Genetically, kinda. Okay. So that's two people that are saying yes and no. Crown 808 says the Black man is the original man. We may not be African. Hold on. We may not be African at all, according to Dr. Clyde Winters, but our culture did intertwine. We are African descent, however, not culturally. Okay, they go to God right there. They go to God right there. Shout out to my co-host in the digital building. She will be back with us next week. Yes, indeed. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. All right. Yo, all right. So people are saying, yeah, we kind of African, but not really. We kind of African, but not really. People saying yes and no. I agree with that sentiment for the most part, and that's what we're gonna be talking about today, man. I have a line in one of my songs. There's a line, and actually, it's a line that I stole from Dr. Khalid Muhammad. I heard Dr. Khalid Muhammad say this a long time ago, where he says Africa. He said, Africa is the throne, but planet Earth is our home. He said, Africa is the throne, but planet Earth is our home. The whole planet is ours. Like Crown 808 said, we are the original people of the planet. We are the gods of this planet. The whole planet belongs to us. It's not just a particular geographic location, right? That's right and exact. But when you say that the Black man is the original man and that the planet belongs to us, and not just one particular geographic location, when you say that, you're not just speaking about foundational Black Americans, though, right? And I wore my Land of Melanin shirt today, too, on purpose. I wore this shirt today specifically on purpose, you know what I mean? Just to bring some of that energy in here. But Africa is the throne, but the planet Earth is our home. Now, when we make a statement like that, we're not just speaking about foundational Black Americans. Right? Foundational Black Americans is a cultural group, a lineage group, an ethnic group that is fairly new to the planet. Right? Foundational Black Americans didn't exist 1,000 years ago, over 500 years ago. Foundational Black Americans are those of us who descend from the people who are the foundation of this country. And while I'm talking, let me go to officialfba.com. Let me go to officialfba.com while I'm talking and pull up the website. What did our ancestors want? We are our own group, but they never forgot we are African. Okay. Sounds like you saying yes and no. I don't even want to identify with a colonized mindset, says M. Flournoy. I'm not sure how to say that. The U.S. is over in Somalia right now, building military bases to extract their resources, and the Africans do not push back. Okay. I'm not sure if you're saying that we're identifying with a colonized mindset by identifying as foundational Black Americans. I'm not sure if that's what you're saying there. But if that is what you're saying, I would definitely push back on that. But let me go to officialfba.com, man. We'll start off the discussion here, man. We'll start off the discussion here. And what I want to get to here is, what is a foundational Black American? All right. So foundational Black Americans are the descendants of the Black people who survived one of the greatest atrocities in recorded history, American slavery. FBA are the descendants of the Black people who built the United States from scratch. But this history did not start in 1619. The history of foundational Black Americans started almost 100 years earlier. The first documented foreign settlers in the New World of North America were the enslaved people who were brought over by Spanish colonizer Lucas Vasquez de Ayllón. I don't know how to say that either. In 1526. But shortly after Ayllón and the 600 other Spaniards arrived to the area that would later become South Carolina / Georgia coast, the enslaved Black captives launched a successful revolt, forcing the few remaining Spanish colonizers and enslavers to ultimately retreat from the area back towards the Caribbean. The liberated Black people amalgamated into the local Native American society, and this was a new historic chapter in what would ultimately become the culture of foundational Black Americans. Since 1526, the culture of foundational Black Americans has been that of building, resisting, perseverance, and fighting for justice. FBA are exceptional people, and we recognize, celebrate, and give honor to that lineage. And so, for those of you guys who are not really familiar, who still have questions and all of that case, this would be a good place to start. Go to officialfba.com. I know most of you that are here watching me live right now, I'm kind of preaching to the choir. You already know what time it is. But anybody that might be watching this on the replay or whatever the case may be, or anybody that might be new to the conversation, again, this is a good place for you to start with getting a thorough understanding of what a foundational Black American is. All right. And so shout out to Tariq for putting this together and breaking down a lot of the history. All right. So boom. Stop that real quick. All right. So that pretty much sums up what a foundational Black American is, right? So part of our lineage are people who are native to this land, who have been settled on this part of the world for thousands of years, the people who came before Columbus, the people who even came before the Moors who came with those Spanish explorers in 1526. Some of the native people that they came across when they were here are Black-skinned people who will be classified as Black in today's society. So there were Black people who are already in this part of the world. Again, going back to what I was saying in the beginning, the planet Earth is our home, not just one particular area. It's not like we was just sitting up in Africa, not moving around this planet for thousands and thousands of years. You know what I'm saying? We've been all over the world before, Caucasians were even walking on 2 feet. We've been all over the planet. You know what I'm saying? Bringing culture and civilization everywhere that we went, right? And so the Americas is no different, including North America. It's no different. So Black people were already here, and that's a part of our lineage. Also, you have some of the early explorers who were coming back and forth, doing trade, so on and so forth. Talking about black-skinned people coming from Africa, doing trade with the people who were already settled here for thousands of years, mixing in with some of the Asians who came over, who would later become the Mongoloid Indians, what we know as Native Americans today, the red-skinned, Mongoloid, Asiatic Native Americans. That comes from a mixture of the black people who were already here, intermingling and marrying with the Asians who were coming over that they were doing trade with as well, right? And so that's a part of our lineage. And then you have what was just explained on the website, what took place in 1526 with some of the people who were brought here as slaves early on by the Spanish, who launched that successful revolt and ended up settling here and mixing in with the people who were already here. And then you have those who were brought over through transatlantic slave trade later on in 1619, right? All of those different, all of those black people that came to this part of the world at different times, all mixed together, amalgamated, and became what are today known as foundational Black Americans. That is what a foundational Black American is. And so when you look at that history, when you look at that lineage and that bloodline, the answer to today's question is yes, of course. Genetically, we are African. You know what I'm saying? And broadly, everybody on the planet is African because that is the birthplace of humanity, right? But not even going all the way back millions of years and all of that. If we just go back, a few thousands of years, we will still say, okay, yes, the black people who were here, pre-Columbus era, even though they've been here already for a long time and they were settled here and they have their own civilization and culture, based on the environment, you know what I'm saying? Based on the circumstances that exist here, because that's how cultures and ethnic groups come about. You know what I'm saying? Your culture is a response to the environment and the circumstances in which you find yourselves, a group of people. You know what I'm saying? You come up with your way of life and your customs and your language and your art and all of the things that comprise a culture based on the circumstances that you and your group of people find yourself in. So yes, pre-Columbus, there were already black-skinned people that were here, but if you trace their lineage back, it's still going to go to Africa, right? So the answer to the question is yes and no. And so I want to pull something up from one of the Twitter spaces the other day. Tariq had a Twitter space the other day, and there was somebody in there that was from Ethiopia, I think he was from, and he had a line of questioning that I think is pertinent to today's discussion. Hold on, let me go back here. All right, cool. All right, let me share the screen right quick. So, nyctegur said, "Are the people of North Sentinel Island African?" Well, I say that the answer is the same, yes and no. They came to that part of the world over there off the Indian Ocean thousands of years ago, but they came from Africa ultimately. Ultimately, they came from Africa, but now there are their own unique group of people. They are their own unique group of people, just like us. Just like us. And that's kind of the point of today's discussion too, because it seems like we're the only ones who are told not to define ourselves or to distinguish ourselves from other people, and we're supposed to just fall under this African umbrella that nobody else really falls under. Even Africans, even people, continental Africans, a lot of them don't identify themselves as African. They will oftentimes identify with the country that they come from, because remember, Africa is a continent, right? So, you know, it's not a nationality. There are many nations in the continent of Africa. And then in each of those nations, you have many different ethnic groups. And then you have people that identify by their specific tribe or their specific ethnic group. And they don't identify themselves as African. And so it's like we're the only ones who are told that ain't nothing unique or special about us and we just African. You know what I'm saying? But that's not true. Nobody tells Jamaicans, hey, stop calling yourself Jamaican. You from Africa. Right? And they have a similar history to us. If we look at what makes up a Jamaican, it's very similar to what makes up a foundational Black American. It's just on that particular island, and that's all over the Caribbean. You know what I'm saying? Because same thing, there were Black natives who were already there before Columbus, right? There were African explorers who been all over those islands before Columbus, and there were Africans who were brought there through the transatlantic slave trade. And those make up what a Jamaican is, or what a Haitian is, or what a Dominican is, or, you know, a Bayesian, or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? It's a very similar genetic makeup. You know what I'm saying? That makes us up. So that's another part of the question. Are we the same people? Well, yeah, genetically. And as far as the social construct of race is concerned, we fall under the same racial category. But we have different cultures. We have a unique lineage and we have different cultures. You know what I'm saying? But nobody tells a Jamaican person or a Bayesian person or, you know, a Guyanese person or, you know, an Aborigine from Australia, don't identify yourself by that. Just say that you're African. That only comes into play when it comes to us. Yep, my lineage demonstrates Asian physical features in addition to African features. Random question. Why don't we as FBAs express any affinity for our Asian roots? Just curious. For our Asian roots, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about, like I was saying earlier, you know, when some of the native Blacks in this part of the world were mixing with the Asians who were coming over that they were doing trade with, who became the Mongoloid Indians? Is that what you mean by our Asian ancestry? Is that what you're referring to? I'm not sure what you're referring to as far as what you're saying there. But also, you know, we got to go. It depends on how far we going back in history, right? It depends on how far we going back in history. You got to remember, there is no set birth date of Black people on this planet, right? And there were different times where different land masses were called different things. And so, I don't know. So you're saying, yeah, that is what you mean. I don't know. What would we have to specify as far as that is concerned? We have a different culture. You know what I'm saying? We have a different culture. We have our own unique culture that we created here in North America. So what is there to revere? Right. But let me play this part from the Twitter space that happened the other day. Exactly. All right, let me play some of this here. And this was a dude, I think he was from Ethiopia, talking to Tariq on Twitter the other day.
No, because there were some Black people who are already here. Do you understand that?
What?
Yeah.
So you think you're not from Africa? You think you have no ancestry from Africa?
Did I say that?
No, you didn't say that. But hold up.
Okay, so let's try this. Don't put more.
So the question that he asked was basically, you know, in response to us saying, if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, you know, you Black immigrants or any of you immigrants would not even be allowed to come over here if it wasn't for the fight of our people. And so he's saying, so did Native Americans, referring to the Redskin Mongoloid Indians, fight for you guys to come here? And Tariq said, well, no, there were black people already here. Like, what do you even mean by that? It was kind of a troll question. But he's like, what do you mean? Black people, there were black people already here. And then he says, so are you saying you're not African? And like I said, that's a question that only comes up as it pertains to us. Nobody else is told that they're supposed to identify as African. It's just us that they try to run this game with. And why do y'all think that is? Why do y'all think that is? Because that's another thing that is very unique about us. There's many things that are unique only to foundational Black Americans. And this line of questioning is one of those things. It's unique to only us. Nobody else gets that line of questioning.
Words in my mouth. When I'm a grown man,
Right.
I'm a very thorough brother, and I can say exactly what I mean and mean what I say. I don't need you to try to
when
be
you
a
say
ventriloquist.
FBA, do you mean that like?
Hold on.
What do you
Okay,
mean
I'm
when
gonna
you
need
say
you to. I'm gonna need you to pump your brakes. Don't try to be a ventriloquist here. Okay, don't put words in my mouth. I'm very concise with what I said. There were black people here already. When the Europeans got here, there were already black people here who were enslaved. They were mixed in with the black people who were brought over from Africa. They were all mixed together, and we became foundational Black Americans. We became a very specific ethnic group. So yes, I have African ancestry, but I am a different ethnic group. I'm not an African American. I'm a
What's your
foundational Black
ethnicity though?
American.
What's your
It's
ethnicity?
foundational Black American. That's my ethnicity. You understand?
Well, if you said like Hausa or like Igbo, that makes sense. But
No.
foundational Black American is not really your ethnicity.
Why isn't it one?
It's not. What's your bloodline? You don't have an ethnic.
I do. Foundational Black American is my bloodline.
So he says we don't have an ethnic group. He says we don't have an ethnic group. Foundational Black Americans is not really an ethnic group. That's just some shit that y'all niggas made up. That's basically what he's saying, right? And the thing is, all ethnic groups were just made up. All of your tribes, like he said, if you Hausa or Igbo or something like that, it would make sense. But all of your tribes were made up by somebody. A lot of times, those tribes can be traced back to a specific person. You know what I'm saying? But he's saying, y'all don't. What is your bloodline? Our bloodline is foundational Black American. Saying we don't have a bloodline is like saying we don't have blood. It's like saying we don't have DNA. We came from somewhere. We didn't just, spring out of the soil. You know what I'm saying? We have ancestors. You know what I'm saying? So we don't have a bloodline. We don't have an ethnic group. Why? Because it's something that you can't latch on to. And I think that's the answer to why that line of question is only unique to us, because by us doing this for the first time, this is something that we haven't done as a unique ethnic group. Is recognize that unique culture and history that we have. We've just been sharing it with everybody and just kumbaya, not really acknowledging our uniqueness. You know what I'm saying? So that's our fault to a certain degree. But now that we've came to the party late and we're just doing what everybody else been doing, everybody is kind of up in arms because now they cannot latch onto our culture. They cannot latch onto our accomplishments. They cannot latch onto certain, political governmental programs that are supposed to be specific to us. You know what I'm saying? And they definitely cannot latch onto our reparations claim. That's what the big problem is. That's why nobody wants us to recognize our uniqueness. And so I wanted to read somebody's comments on one of my posts. But let me see what y'all talking about in the chat. It's an attempt to give credit to other groups. And I'm surprised so far. I don't got the we ain't black. Stop calling yourselves black people. I'm surprised none of y'all ain't here at this point in the broadcast. I'm surprised I haven't seen that yet. We ain't black. Black is dead. And all of that shit. I'm surprised I ain't seen none of y'all yet. Black is still a historic name for us in all of history. Elaborate on that one. Black is still a historic name for us in all of history. Elaborate on that one. What you mean by that? The tether class fear us recognizing our lineage because that means we focus on us first. Exactly. Am I still live? Am I live? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Okay, I'm here. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. Man, my son done tripped over the modem, unplugged the modem, knocked the whole internet out. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. All right, I appreciate y'all, family. Good. All right, thank you. I appreciate y'all sticking around, holding it down. Where was I? I feel like I was just getting warm. Okay. The tethered magnetic pulse weapon. 7, go sit down, man. All right, let me reshare this. I know I was talking about this guy that was on Twitter Space the other day. Let me get that back up. Does anybody remember what I was saying when it cut off? Yo, y'all crazy. No, I'm here, family. I'm here. Okay, I was just checking out what y'all was saying. All right, cool. Appreciate that. All right, well, I'm back. Let me see where this is at right here, and we'll just continue from here.
I mean, you can believe that. I'm not gonna knock you, but the way I see it is like, look, black race is not an identity. Black is not an identity, it's just a color. White is not a race either.
That's why I'm a foundational Black American.
That's not. If black is not a race, how can FBA be a race? You can't just create things and say this is an ethnic.
I said it's an ethnic group.
That's where we were at. Okay, that's where we at. This guy's saying, you can't just come up with something and say that it's an ethnic group. You just made that up. It's not really real. And so what I was saying is, all of these ethnic groups were made up. And I was about to read this comment that somebody left on my post. That's where I was at. Let me get to that. I think it was this post here. Let me get to this post here. Okay, yeah. And I don't know if I got it in chronological order or what. But I like what this sister wrote in the comments on my post. And this sister's a Nigerian sister. Shout out to her. She's from Tenia and Tayo. We actually interviewed her on the Black Business Showcase. She has a children's book and toy line. Tenia and Tayo, or Tenia and Tayo. Tenia and Tayo is the name of it. And that's her Instagram page, Tenia and Tayo on Instagram. And so let me see. She wrote, she said, I think if everybody understood the other's perspective, we'd have more unity. Black Americans identify themselves by race because your culture was stripped away from you. You are living in a world where you are a minority in your own country. So the color of your skin unites you, which is why it's easier for you to think in Pan-African terms. I'm gonna stop right there real quick. I think the sister has a very valid point. And I know everybody doesn't agree with my perspective on certain things. And some people, they might hear that and say, no, we ain't trying to hear that shit. You're just making excuses. But in my opinion, there's a reason for everything. There's a reason why we're unique in that way. Why is it that we're the only ones who have been practicing real Pan-Africanism and nobody else as a group has? Of course, we've had individuals from all of these various other ethnic groups and nationalities who have been hardcore Pan-Africanists. But as a group, we've been the only ones really living out those principles in reality. You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason for that. And so what she's saying is, listen, and some of these places, again, people identify by their tribe, they identify by their nationality or whatever the case may be. They don't necessarily identify by their race or their skin color because they live in a country where everybody looks the same. And so how they differentiate each other is by different languages, different tribes, different customs. You know what I'm saying? They differentiate themselves in different ways. Whereas we are a minority, and I like how she said in your own country. She didn't make it seem like we're a guest here. That's the reason why I really respected her comment, and I took it in good faith. Also because, you know what I'm saying, I'm familiar with her. We've spoken to her, and she's pretty codified. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely not on no tether shit. But I think that the wording of that was very respectful. She said, you are living in a world where you are a minority in your own country. She's absolutely right. This is our country, and we are a minority here. So what makes us different from the dominant society is that we black. They don't have that same dynamic in most of these places, Caribbean or Africa. It's one-sided. Truth be told, continental Africans don't practice Pan-Africanism at home on a national or personal level by and large. So at firsthand, and that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. Most of them don't call themselves African. They don't identify as African. They identify maybe as Nigerian or Ghanaian or Ethiopian or, you know, Eritrean, Kenyan, whatever country that they come from. They may identify by that nationality, but more than likely they will identify by their tribe. Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba, Zulu, all of these different tribes that they have. That's what they identify as first. And so that's a different mindset than what we have. The reason why it's so easy for us to see all black people the same, because our blackness is what connects us over here. Whereas where they come from, it's not their blackness that makes them unique or different, because they're all black. So their tribes, their customs, their religions in some cases, their language, that's how they identify themselves. And so they just look at us like another tribe. That's the reason why they don't have camaraderie with us. They just look at us like another tribe. So just because we black don't mean we the same. Don't we hear them say that all the time? Y'all think just because I look like you that I'm supposed to think like you. Yeah, I'm supposed to identify with you. No, I don't got nothing in common with you. We don't have the same culture. Don't we hear them say this all the time? So I feel like that was a good explanation. She says they need to get off of that shit. I agree. Because it's impractical at this point and it's detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Again, a culture is not something that's supposed to be static, meaning your culture doesn't just stay the same forever, no matter what. Your culture is supposed to be a response for empowerment and survival in response to the situation that you find yourself in. And so when you find yourself being dominated under a system of white supremacy, under a system of non-justice, and you look around and you say, okay, what are the things that are not working for us anymore? What are the customs that we're holding on to that are now detrimental to us? Because your culture is supposed to be an instrument of empowerment. You know what I'm saying? And so if there's parts of your culture that are detrimental, that are not conducive to your empowerment, then you need to let go certain parts of your culture. And so all of that tribalism is not working for y'all anymore. And so like my sister said, y'all need to let that go. And so one might say in response to that, well, you guys are saying Africans need to put down the tribalism because that tribalism is causing them to be divided and conquered. And so you guys are saying it's impractical for them to practice tribalism and that they need to let it go. But now you guys are practicing tribalism and picking up tribalism by identifying yourselves as foundational Black Americans and telling everybody else they need to hold their own nuts and Pan-Africanism is dead and all of that. Some people might say that. And I will say the same thing that I just explained of how your culture is not supposed to be static. Your culture is supposed to be an instrument of empowerment in response to the circumstances that you find yourself in. And so part of our culture has been Pan-Africanism. Part of our culture has been seeing all Black people all over the planet as one big Negro. And that is not working for us. We see now that that is a detriment to our empowerment. So we are letting it go. We are putting it down. And now we are doing something that is going to work for us, right? And so we are the tip of the spear as foundational Black Americans. We are the tip of the spear. As you can see, our culture is the culture that reverberates all around the planet. Doesn't matter if we're doing something that is empowering or if we're doing something that is degenerate. For some reason, everybody seems to copy what we do. Whether we're wearing our hat backwards or sagging our pants, or whether we're marching for freedom in the streets, whatever it is that foundational Black Americans do, everybody all over the planet seems to follow our blueprint, right? And so, even though we're saying Africans need to get rid of the tribalism while we're simultaneously picking up our own version of tribalism, it is necessary at this juncture. We find it necessary at this juncture to circle our wagons, close the gates, in order to get ourselves together so that we can have strength, because the Pan-Africanism has weakened us. It has weakened us. It has weakened us as a culture, and it has weakened us politically, economically, pretty much in all areas of activity. It has weakened us. So now it only makes sense for us to close the gate, for us to focus on ourselves in order to empower ourselves, because like I said, we are the tip of the spear. And so once we get our shit together and we start making those power moves, that too will reverberate around the planet and other people will follow suit. And then maybe somewhere down the line, Pan-Africanism may become practical. But at this point, it's just not practical. It's ideal. I still believe it's ideal, and many people might not agree with that. Some people say we ain't African at all. We ain't got nothing to do with Africa. Some people say foundational Black Americans are the only ones who are really Black. Ain't nobody else Black. All these other people ain't even Black. I don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? As we're having this discussion, I want y'all to take note of what you see behind me. As we're having this discussion, please take note of what you see behind me. By the way, I have a tattoo of Malcolm X on my arm right here. Right? I also got this tattoo right here, which has the continent of Africa on it. Right? And it has the continent of the U.S. on the bottom of it. This comes from Anthony Browder's book, The Browder Files. This image comes from the Browder Files. Right? And so take note of the art that you see on my skin, that you see on my shirt, and that you see behind me. You see the foundational Black American flag, and you see the Black Fist flag, you know what I'm saying, which was created by our brother David Banner, by the way, with the red, black, and green colors. Right? You also see Nipsey Hussle and Malcolm X. It can be practiced on an individual level regarding business, but when it comes to large-scale international industry, it's non-existent, unfortunately. I agree with that. It's unfortunate that it's non-existent. That's the key word right there, because it's actually ideal. It would be fly if Black people all around the world had the mindset of foundational Black Americans. That would be the flyest shit possible. But that's not what it is. But like I was saying, you got the foundational Black American flag. You got the red, black, and green Black Power Fist flag. It's not the Pan-African flag. This is the flag that our brother David Banner came with, but it's inspired by Pan-Africanism. It's a Pan-Africanist symbol still, right? And then you have Nipsey Hussle and you have Malcolm X. Both of those brothers are half FBA and half non-FBA. Nipsey Hussle's father is from Eritrea. His mother is a foundational Black American. Malcolm X's father is a foundational Black American, and his mother is, I think, from Grenada or somewhere in the Caribbean. Right? And so I don't feel us looking at our unique lineage and culture is a contradiction to any of that. Some people try to make it seem like it's a contradiction. I don't believe that it's a contradiction at all. Like I started off the conversation saying that the answer to the question is yes and no. Some of these things are not mutually exclusive. Yes, we are. We have African lineage, and yes, we are our own unique ethnic group. Both of those things are true. Both of those things are true. Not the rally, the day y'all get reparations. Oh, y'all having your own conversation. Okay. Gaddafi's plan would have made, let me see that. Gaddafi's plan would have made Africa the economic superpower on the planet. However, bootlicking sellouts on the continent and Barack Obama worked together to kill him. No one picked up his work. Facts. That's facts. No one picked up his work. But let me say this about that, Great Black Shark. Let me say this about that. I put up a post the other day with the RZA, and the RZA was talking about how even when things seem to be going bad, most of the time everything is working toward the greater good, right? And he was talking about how 50 Cent had a speech impediment because he got shot in his mouth, and Kanye West had a speech impediment because of the car accident, and that thing that was supposed to be a detriment to them actually served as a form of empowerment for them. And so, do you think that if Gaddafi never would have been killed and his plan went through and a good majority of Africans picked up on what he was putting down, do you think that it would have worked out for us overall? Because I don't think that the timing was right. I don't think that the timing was right because of the mindset that exists over there. They don't have the Pan-Africanist mindset. They don't see themselves as one people having the same enemy, right? So I think that could have been disastrous. Although they definitely would have become an economic superpower, I think it still could have been disastrous because that would have brought about a set of new problems, right? And they damn sure wouldn't have been trying to look out for us as foundational Black Americans, because if they would do what they could do now. There's a lot that they can all do now to benefit foundational Black Americans. Dual citizenship, land allotments. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that they can open up the doors to if they wanted to do something to help foundational Black Americans. And so if Gaddafi's plan would have went through, yeah, they would have become an economic superpower, but I don't believe it would have been as beneficial at that time as it should be. You know what I mean? So I believe all things are still working towards the greater good. Malcolm X and Nif were both on code and show respect to FBA culture. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me finish reading what I was reading here. She said, you guys are a minority in your own country. We identify with the color of our skin. She said, that's why it's easier for you to think in Pan-African terms. But you created a brand new culture, she said. But you created a brand new culture, a brand new tribe. She's right. Black Americans are an influential tribe. She put tribe in quotes. I agree. Continental Africans don't count Black as being a main identity because everybody is Black. That's what I was saying. Instead, we identify by tribe, nationality, religion, etc. Tribal beef still happens in Africa today, with people killing others just because they are a different tribe. And that's why I said Gaddafi's plan could have turned out to be a disaster. So when an African says we are not part of you, a lot of times, not always, it's because they don't view you and them as being from the same tribe, not because they don't view themselves as part of the general black community. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't see themselves as black at all. Plus, many, I'm saying that. She said, not because they don't view themselves as part of a general black community. I'm disagreeing with that. I'm saying many of them don't think that they're black at all. Many of them don't even identify as African. Right? And I have a clip on my page where I forgot where this chick was from. She's some East African woman was saying just that. Like, I don't even see myself as an African. I see myself as a whatever. I forgot which tribe she was from. General black community. Plus, many Africans till today are not taught our history and are not taught Black American history, so they lack knowledge that clouds their perspective. Now, I know many of y'all ain't trying to hear that last part. You're like, oh no, they know what it is. They know our goddamn history. That's why they running over here, because they know our history. They know our get down. That's why they running over here, because they know we done cleared the brush. They know all the heavy lifting already been done. They know that much. They know that much. We are a whole new group of people. Yes, indeed. FBA Nigel, and that's what we're talking about. And that's what we're talking about. But I agree with most of what she said there. I wanted to see if I could find that audio where that East African chick was saying that. She said, I ain't no African, even though she's from the continent. Where is that? Here it is. Let me turn the speaker on so y'all can hear it. Here it is. Am I doing all right? Y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me? Type a number 7 in the chat if y'all still with me. You know, I don't got my co-host here with me today, so just make sure y'all still with me, man. Make sure I'm not boring y'all to death today. Type a number 7 in the chat if y'all still with me. All right, there we go. All right, so check this out.
I want to know, like, what does the label, like, what does the black label mean to you? And why did you feel like there was a differentiation between African?
Now, let me know if y'all can hear that clear. Can y'all hear that clear, or does it sound crazy? Appreciate y'all. I see the 7s in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Let me know if y'all can hear that before I let it play. It's clear? All right, thank you.
I want to know, like, what does the label, like, what does the black label mean to you? And why did you feel like there was a differentiation between African, the tribal ethnicity and the label black?
All right, so it's a very loaded question, and I'm thinking of how I can answer it with simplicity. I look at myself as I'm from Zimbabwe. I was born in Zimbabwe, and I only came to Canada when I was 20, almost 21. So before coming to Canada, I was Shayla. I was from Zimbabwe. I was from the Ndebele tribe. That was my language. And there was never any point that race was part of my narrative or part of my identity, or that I actually had to call myself black. So when I came to Canada, obviously that changed right away. And this black girl, I was in a social class and I'm described that way. And it felt very imposed, and I did not identify with that. I was just me from Zimbabwe. Even the whole African, I was not African, I was Zimbabwean. Right. But once you come here it changes. You're this Black girl, you represent all of Africa. And so for me, I want to say that there was a part of regression, there was a part of resistance, because it wasn't me. And I did not really identify with that. And then I also look at my skin and I'm like, I'm not Black. So there's that aspect of, and then I look into the dictionary and I'm like, what does Black even mean? I mean, I know that very few of us do that. And I'm like, I look at Black from the Thesaurus dictionary. It talks about atrociously wicked, destitute of light, and all of that. And I also know that having been in Canada, there's some negative connotations attached to even the racial binary of Black and white. We wear white to weddings where we celebrate. I want to know, like.
Right. And so notice, not only, and my bad, I said she was East African, but she's from Zimbabwe. So notice, not only does she not identify as Black, but she doesn't even identify as African. She specifically identifies with her tribe first, and then her nationality second. And so the thing about that, and I see some of the comments, you know, somebody said, bye, bitch, we don't give a damn. Somebody says she's an op. Great Black Shark says she's lying her ass off. White folks in Zimbabwe are extremely racist. They call them kafirs and all type of shit. That's facts too. Right? So a lot of them pretend, just like that lovey chick who's from Nigeria, talking about you know, she never knew what Black was until she got here and all of that stuff. That part is a lie. They understand what it is, whether they identify with that first, second, third, not at all, but they understand what it means to be Black and juxtaposing that against white, right? Because that's what Blackness is, right? Blackness always has to be juxtaposed against a system of white supremacy, because they're the ones that came up with the racial categories in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? There was no such thing as race or racism until the white supremacists invented it, until they came up with this system so that they can dominate the people who are classified as non-white in order to prevent themselves from being genetically annihilated, right? And so identifying as Black always has to be juxtaposed against that wicked, unjust system. And so when people refuse to identify as Black, it's because they refuse to fight against that system. That's what it boils down to. They don't want, if identifying as Black means you have to understand the situation that you're in. You have to understand that we are at war, that we are under attack, and that you have to fight back. And so that's the main reason why they don't accept that identity. You know what I'm saying? It's because now you got to do something about it. He said delusional tether talk. I think some people, how can I say it, man? Some people are just straight up, for me, a tether is someone who is actively working to undermine foundational Black Americans, right? Everybody who may have this confusion like that, what she's expressing is not necessarily a tether, in my opinion. They might just be confused because they don't understand what white supremacy is and how it works. And so that causes confusion. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe there can be a level of understanding to where it doesn't have to be a hostile response, right? Sometimes a hostile response is absolutely necessary and appropriate. But I think there are different cases, and we got to be able to compartmentalize, right? Sometimes understanding is like, okay, we know what it is. The fact that she thinks like that, you could just put her over there in the goofy corner, and we do what we got to do. All right, this is not somebody that we could work with. We ain't got to sit here and try to educate them and try to get them on code and none of that shit. We ain't got to waste time with that. But we understand that this person has a mindset, whether they're hostile or not, are two different things. And really, that's inconsequential. Because neither one of them are any good for us, whether they're hostile or not. It's neither one of them is somebody that we could work with. So I just put them over there. You know what I'm saying? But I believe those people, like I was explaining earlier, with us being the tip of the spear, and once we get our weight up, I believe those are some of the people who will actually get on board. The people who are tethers will never get on board. Those are the ops. Those are the ops, and those are the people that, you know what I'm saying, unfortunately, we're going to have to get rid of. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who are genuinely confused about what it is. But those are people that, once we begin to get our weight up, will get a clearer understanding of what's happening and be able to get on code. That's just my opinion. Everybody don't got to agree with that. I have seen how they move in Canada too. When they get up there, it's Zaddy Becky time. Facts. Everybody knows it's just a difference. Those who fight it, and those who go back to picking the cotton. Shout out TBA. Facts. Yeah, but that's across the board, right? That's across the board with FBAs as well as non-FBAs, right? That applies to all the coons. Believe it or not, the African youth are riders. They want to learn from us, but they're not allowed here. That's another thing. The reason why we get so inundated and flooded with people with the tether mindset is because they have these vetting systems in place. They don't just allow any and everybody to come over here from Africa and the Caribbean. They don't just, you know what I mean? They screen people. There's a screening process. I talked about this before. Out here where I live at, in Gwinnett County, in Georgia, it's a large African Caribbean population, but Africa in particular. They got a lot of Africans in New York, but in New York, like, I met a lot of Nigerians, mostly in New York, and some people from Ghana, some East Africans here and there. But here, where I live at, the whole continent is here. Like, every country, every part of Africa you could think of, they here. And they here in large numbers. It's not just West Africans and Nigerians and shit. You got people from like Togo and places that, you know, you never even heard of like that. You know what I'm saying? People from Cameroon and all these different places. They heavy over here, right? And so what I notice is a lot of them, because I deal with them on a regular basis. You know what I'm saying? I cut hair. A lot of them come to the barbershop. I chop it up with them. Some of the younger dudes, I watch some of them grow up and all of that. You know what I mean? Usually I know the whole family because I did some I did a form of tethering of my own when I came down here. When I first moved here from New York and I realized there was such a large African population, I understood their mindset of, you know, rocking with each other more than they rock with us. You know what I'm saying? And so my step pops is Nigerian. And so I got two little brothers who are half Nigerian, half FBA. And so when I realized that there was a lot of Africans here when I first came here, I would, in order for me to build my clientele in the barbershop, I would just tell them, yo, my pop's from Africa. I would just tell them, yeah, my pop's Nigerian. As I'm sitting there and chopping it up with him, cutting hair, whatever, I would leave out the part that he was my stepdad, and I would just tell them, yeah, my dad from Nigeria. And that, I knew that would automatically give them a certain camaraderie with me, right? And so now they want to bring the whole family. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you my man. You could cut hair like a foundational Black American, and you African. Oh, this is my brother right here. You know what I'm saying? So now they bring the whole family. They bring the cousins. They bring the uncles. They bring their mamas, because a lot of the women wear short hair too. And so I know a lot of them. I cut a lot of their hair, right? And so what I've noticed is, from chopping it up with them, most of these people that are here are usually connected with the political class back home, or they're connected with the business class. Usually, some of the younger ones, they'll have two parents who are professionals, right? They're not just regular, ordinary citizens that just happen to come over here. There's a vetting system in place to where they only bring certain people over here. Most of them are connected to some type of diplomat, some type of my daughter calling me. I'm gonna have to call you back, BBG. I'm gonna have to call you back, baby girl. Hold on, let me text her real quick. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Hit the like button and share this out while I do this, family. My daughter calling me. I need to just text her real quick. All right. And so, yeah, these people are usually connected somehow. You know what I mean? And then a lot of them also are adopted by white people. I don't know if y'all remember, there was a chick that called up Tariq's show a few years ago. She was from here, Gwinnett County, and she was adopted by a white man who works at the CDC. Remember, the CDC is here in Georgia. If y'all remember, there was a chick that called up Tariq's show who was adopted by a white man who works at the CDC, and she was being raped and molested by the white adopted brother, right? And she called up Tariq's show, and he helped her get reconnected with her family. I think she was from Kenya. He helped her get reconnected with her family back in Africa, wherever her birth family was from. He helped her get reconnected with them. But she was from here, where I live at, Gwinnett County. And there's a lot of that. There's a lot of young African people here who are adopted by white folks. Right? And so they got these different organizations, and they got something called the Rainbow Railroad, or the Railroad Rainbow, or something like that, where it's like an LGBTQ organization where they go and get kids from these war-torn areas in Africa, and they say that they're being discriminated against over there because of their sexuality, so they bring them over here for safety or whatever the case may be. But usually they bring them over here as babies. They get them over here. They separate it from any of their real family. There's no infrastructure to keep track of what's going on with them over here. And they raise them up, and it be all type of fuck shit that goes on in those households. And these are the tethers that end up in our rooms talking shit. These are the tethers that end up working at the Root and all of these different publications that put out all of this nonsense and degenerate behavior about foundational Black Americans, perpetuating these negative stereotypes about foundational Black Americans and all of that in the media. These are the tethers who end up in the political class over here, running for some office and talking about Black people don't need to get this and Black people don't need to get that. That's who these people end up being. That's the system that's in place to basically breed tethers. It's a tether breeding process that goes on. You remember that? Yeah. Adoption is another system they use to indulge in the devilish ways. Buck breaking, absolutely. The Rainbow Railroad, that's what it is. PragerU also facilitates the adopting and recruitment of Africans. Facts. They got all of these different organizations in place that are systematically carrying this stuff out. This stuff is not just happening by happenstance, family. We're not seeing this phenomenon by happenstance. It starts over there on the continent and in the Caribbean. They start creating this mindset by putting these puppet leaders in place, by, keeping all of the confusion going over there with the separation of different classes and caste systems, and, exploiting the tribal beefs and all of that shit that they got going on over there, to decipher and to divide the riders from the coons, right? The people that work with them over there to sabotage the people over there and maintain the system of white supremacy, even though it's a dominant Black population over there. The people that are helping them maintain the white supremacy system over there are obviously people who are going to be reliable to come over here and undermine us. And so those are the people that are in place throughout this vetting process. And so, like I said, a lot of these people that are here are connected to those people back home. Either that or they come through those adoption agencies. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what we see that's taking place. That's what we are looking at, family. So, yeah. Let me hit that right there. Hit that right there. Boom. Another thing they do is they go to African nations where women are brutalized by men and recruit them into the white feminine movement to disparage FBA men, but remain silent about their own men. Facts. Facts. We see that heavy. And we had somebody in here earlier bigging up Cynthia G. Where's Cynthia G from, by the way? Where's Synthetic G from? Somebody was in here bigging her up earlier. Hot damn mess. Blacks and white face. Facts. Facts. Yeah, so these people are a real problem, man. These people are a major, major problem. Nicely, I'm starting to feel like you could have been on here with me. You hanging out anyway. You could have came on here. She said her face card declined. All right. Anyway, man, let me see where we at. I guess I could cover some of what's going on in the news. I guess I could talk to y'all about some of the stuff that's been going on in the news. This is what we usually do here on the Sunday broadcast. Right? So what's been going on, family? What's been going on out here? Let me see. Okay, yeah. Did y'all hear about... Okay, hold on. Let me go to the original story. Actually, let me pull that up on here because I'm about to need to share my screen. Hold on a second, family. But did y'all hear about that little town out there in North Carolina where the whole police department resigned after they hired this black woman to be the city manager? Let me find that story real quick. Okay, here it goes. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen with y'all. Yeah, so this was in North Carolina. And this story is in the New York Post. They got all these pop-ups on here, so let me get the pop-ups out the way. All right. It's pop-ups, man. All right. North Carolina town's entire police force quits in protest over progressive town manager. Now, I don't know who this town manager is, but she's a black woman. An entire North Carolina police force has quit in protest at the town's newly hired progressively responsible, quote unquote, town manager, who the police chief said created a hostile work environment, quote unquote. Kenly Police Chief Josh Gibson made the shocking announcement in a Facebook post on Thursday, saying the assistant town manager and key clerk had joined him and his 5 officers in quitting in protest. Quote, I have put in my 2 weeks notice along with the whole police department, end quote. He wrote of the force he has served with for 21 years. This is the sister here. She's the new Kenly town manager. Her name is Justine Jones. New manager has created an environment. This is a quote. New manager has created an environment I do not feel we can perform our duties and services to the community, end quote. he wrote of Justine Jones, who took up the position early last month. He made it official with a formal letter of resignation to Jones herself, according to a copy obtained by WRAL, noting that he was the longest running chief in the area. He said he felt his force had recently made substantial progress in dealing with unspecified ups and downs. So he just called it ups and downs. They had some ups and downs, according to this suspected white supremacist police chief right here. Josh Gibson is his name. Quote, however, due to the hostile work environment in the town of Kenly, I do not believe progress is possible, end quote. He told Jones without identifying her as the source of his complaint, as he had done on social media. So he's not even saying, he's not even trying to come up with a good lie about what the issue is or whatever. He ain't even trying to make up a story about it. He just said, listen, it's a hostile environment. We all quit. These pop-ups, man. Neither the post nor his letter spelled out specific grievances the officers had against Jones. However, the exiting police chief told WRAL he would consider staying if Jones was dismissed. So this is just like supposed to be a chess move to get her fired. Get her up out of there. And so, this police department have to be wrought with all types of corruption and shit going on over there for the whole police department to quit just because they hired this chick, this progressive black woman that they hired to be the city manager. Now, again, I don't know much about her. I don't know, really anything about her other than what I'm seeing in this story. And also, let me pull this up too real quick. It does give a little more context. This was a post that some white woman that's from Kenly put up on TikTok. This white woman who's from out there in Kenly put this post up on TikTok. So let me share that real quick. I wish this thing could just follow you wherever page you go to. When you share the screen, I wish you didn't have to unshare it and then reshare it. I wish it could just follow you whenever you click on the new tab. Y'all need to step that up, StreamYard. Y'all need to get that together. But this is the post that this white woman put up who's from out there. Shit.
That used to stand in Johnston County, North Carolina until the late 1970s. And I want to talk to you about a little town that's inside of Johnston County, and that town is the name of Kenly. See, back on June 2nd, the town of Kenly hired a new town manager, and her name was Justine Jones. Miss Jones just happens to be an educated Black woman who has worked as the town manager of several different towns all around the United States. But yesterday, the town of Kenly said, hold the fuck up. And the entire police department, the city clerk, and the utilities clerk all resigned from their jobs and said that this new town manager had created a toxic work environment that was so toxic they could no longer continue to work there. You see, accountability can be really uncomfortable when you live a life of privilege. So I have a feeling that the reason that all of these employees suddenly quit their jobs has more to do with this billboard in the background than it would do with any possible toxic work environment that the new town manager created. So congratulations, Kenly, for staying true to the racist roots of Johnston County, North Carolina, and looking like a bunch of assholes. For those of you that are seeing me, I promise you there are some of us in North Carolina that are not racist pieces of shit. The picture that you see.
Right. So yeah. Yeah. So like you seen her, she said on there that this sister has managed several towns, has been a town manager, city manager for several cities all across the U.S. You know what I mean? So again, I'm not familiar with her. Don't know her background, what her qualifications are, what her policies or strategies that she implements when she gets these jobs may or may not be. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't think. I would be surprised if she was really hardcore about getting justice. You know, the way we would want somebody to be. The way we would want somebody that had that assignment, we would want somebody that's going to get in there and root out all of the white supremacists and really start punishing people. You know what I'm saying? Putting evidence on the board, really doing some thorough investigations to get people punished, to uproot the white supremacists that's working within the system. But in this case, it seems that either way, the whole entire force would have had to go. That's why they all quit. Because even if she was that thorough, where she was going to be doing some thorough investigations and start getting people up out the paint, it seemed like they all would have had to go. And that's the reason why they say, hey, listen, we're going to exit stage left, you know, before shit really get bad out here. But like I said, I would be surprised if she was really coming with the smoke that we would want her to come with. You know what I'm saying? She probably doing some softball shit, like sending people to, what do you call that shit? What do you call that shit? When they be sending people to the Black History museums and they got to do all this training, this sensitivity training. That's probably all she was doing. She probably just came to set up some sensitivity classes for officers who got accused of, you know, abusing somebody, you know, using some racial slurs or whatever the case may be. She probably just there to get them into these sensitivity programs. And that made them quit. The whole force. What up, Just? What's going on, Just? Those are unified Alabaster Neander thugs. They don't even like black in their pepper. Facts. But I'm saying, you know, it got to be some shit going on over there. They probably done did a couple of old school lynchings over there in that police department. What's this? Damn. Really? Yo. Y'all got to be careful over there in Lake Lanier. I just seen this story. I ain't even seen this story. Who sent this to me just now? Who sent this to me just now? Who is this? Nicety. Shout out to my co-host, Nicety Girl. She just sent me this right here. I live out here not too far away from Lake Lanier, y'all. You always hear shit going on about Lake Lanier. 3 people jumped from burning boat on Lake Lanier, 2 hospitalized. Man. When I first came down here, I didn't know the history about Lake Lanier. You know, I went out there a couple of times. They got like a little water park, you know, little restaurants and stuff by the water and all that shit, little amusement park type situation going on over there. But once I learned about the history of that lake, I said, nah, we ain't going over there. We will not be disrespecting the ancestors like that. I'm cool. But you always hear about some crazy stuff going on over there in Lake Lanier. Got to be more careful. Right. Got to be more careful. Oh, so there was another story that I wanted to share with y'all. I ain't going to be on here too much longer, but there was another story I wanted to share with y'all. Where is it? Where is it? I know y'all probably seen it because it's been all over social media. Oh, yeah, this bastard here. All right, let me close some of these tabs. Now I got to stop sharing. Okay. 1 second, family. 1 second, family. And again, I'm not going to be on here too much longer because I'm about to go cook some dinner and all of that. And I know we're getting ready. Most people are getting ready to tune in to the Black Authorities broadcast. That should be coming up soon. So yeah. Former Lexington Police Chief Sam Dobbins gives off big Mark Furman energy. And whoever wrote this, by the way, this is what is this? News One. Okay, this is News One, y'all. This is News One. I didn't like the tone of this article. Like they trying to sound cool or hip or whatever the case may be. I didn't like the way they wrote this article. It's like they trying to sound like they so down. It makes me cringe. It's almost like you ever see those? Nah, I'm not making ziti. I'm about to make some fish tonight. I'm about to bake some fish, some vegetables and some mashed potatoes. Bake some fish with some vegetables and some mashed potatoes. Yeah, it's about to go down. Yeah, it makes me cringe. Just like when you watch ESPN, a lot of times you see these sports commentators and be trying to sound, they be trying to talk like us and shit, trying to use all type of slang and ebonics and shit. That's how this article is written. That shit corny to me, especially when you're dealing with something so serious like this. Like that shit corny to me, man. The writer's name is Zach Lindley. Who the hell is Zach Lindley? Is this a white dude? Hold on a second. Let me see who Zach is. Oh, it just goes to this article. Is this the only article that he wrote for News One? It just goes to the same article. Oh yeah, it just goes to the same article. Usually it'll tell you about the writer. But Zach Lindley wrote this shit. I shot that nigga 119 times. Mississippi police chief fired after racist recording leaks. All right, let me go there. Close this. Oh, damn, I hate these pop-ups. All right. Apparently, Jim Crow never died. He just moved to the majority black city of Lexington, Mississippi, and took up permanent residence in its police department to declare that oppression ain't dead. These niggas are just scared. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about, man. Recently, a civil rights and international human rights organization called Julian shared a recording with the Mississippi Center for Investigative Reporting in which a police officer is heard boasting about killing 13 people while on duty, including a black person he said he shot 119 times. Of course, he didn't use those words, black person. He used a different word. You know the one. I ain't even gonna read the rest of that stupid shit right there. Whatever. I'm just trying to get to just the meat and potatoes of what happened here. And I think the recording is on here. Yeah, let me just play this recording and then we can chop it up.
Okay? Don't ever ruin that. All right? Because these other niggas, they'll let you fry. Okay? I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if you kill a motherfucker in cold blood.
Do his ass, right?
Do you hear what I'm saying? Yep. I will articulate to fix the fucking problem. And I'm the only man in the business here that's smart enough to do it up front. Okay? Me and Charles been to war together. I've killed 13 men in my career. Okay? Justified. Huh? In my career, I have shot and killed in the line of duty 13 different people.
You shot so many motherfuckers, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Justified, bro.
Okay.
Ask around. They ain't gonna tell you no.
What other motherfuckers say about you don't matter to me. I'm talking about me and you, baby.
I'm telling you, 13 people on my numbers, okay?
Yeah.
Justified. I'm talking about man had a gun, man had died. Okay?
You and him.
Yeah.
Right.
Got a big ass corn shootout, man. The cornfield over there. Jimmy Dale Thomas, go up there and ask him. He worked it. Justified, bro. I shot that nigga 119 times. Okay?
So now, hopefully y'all can hear that pretty clear. Hopefully y'all can hear that. They themselves canceled Fleek. They are the biggest punks if you catch them alone, trust me. Yeah, hopefully y'all can hear that pretty clear. But he was just saying nigga over and over and over again, talking about how many people he done killed in the line of duty. Justified, bro. justified, bro. You know what I'm saying? I shot that nigga 119 times. And now, am I tripping? Because it sounds to me like the dude that he talking to is black. It sounds like he's talking to a black dude. And if that is the case, hopefully the black dude is the one that leaked the audio. Right, that's what I'm saying. It sounded like he was talking to a black dude. And so if the black dude was setting him up and he's the one that leaked the audio, shout out to him. I don't know if that's the case. But if the black dude was baiting him to talk crazy and he's the one that leaked the audio, salute to that brother. But that definitely sounds like a black dude. And if that's not what happened, if he's not the one that leaked the audio and he wasn't setting him up and you just sitting around letting this motherfucker talk to you like this, I have no words. But that definitely sounds like a black dude. He like, dang, you shot that many motherfuckers, bro? He like, who you for real? For real? Yeah, he kind of had the coon inflections too when he was talking. He had them coon inflections in his voice. But you feel that comfortable? You feel that comfortable talking to another black person like that? And like I said, if you set him up, if he made him get comfortable like that just for this purpose, then I salute him. You say he baited him. How do we know? How do we know? The whistleblower is a white man, Goddess said. Got me calling you Goddess now. That's nice. The whistleblower is a white man, she said. So I don't know. How did the whistleblower get the audio? I don't know. But yeah, it sounds like this dude works at that Kenley place. This dude sounds like he's the police chief down there at that Kenley place. You got shit like this going on in your department, and then they hire a black woman to come clean shit up. Yeah, then I could see why the whole police department would resign. I see why all of y'all would get up out the paint quick, fast, and in a hurry. Oh, is this it right here? Hold on. I think I got it right here. Hold on. Okay. Shout out to nyctegur with the assist. Even though she's not on the broadcast today, she's still running the plays, coming through with the assist. Let me share this with y'all. I haven't seen this. I'm seeing this for the first time. Ben Crump is on the scene as per usual. We got Big Ben Crump. Here we go. Make sure it's not muted. Okay.
Hooker released an audio recording from April. He says the conversation is between him and Dobbins, who at the time was his police chief. Hooker accuses Dobbins of creating a stressful and toxic work environment.
I just got to the point where you're not doing the people.
Oh, he black, nicety. He black. He said the conversation was between the police chief and Hooker. This is Hooker right here, Robert Hooker. Hold on, let me make sure I heard that correctly.
Released an audio recording from April. He says the conversation is between him and Dobbins, who at the time was his police chief. Hooker accuses Dobbins of creating a stressful and toxic work environment.
I just got to the
Yeah, so he black. Okay.
Point where you're not doing the people right, you're not doing me right, so therefore let me expose you for what you are, who you are.
Okay.
That's how it happened.
We obtained the audio. In the recording, Hooker says you can hear Dobbins using the N-word.
Let me explain something to you. Come on. You're going to get in some in the street, and there's only going to be one man fighting for you. All right? Yeah. That's going to be me. Okay? Don't ever ruin that. All right? Because these other they'll let you fry. Okay?
As well as him speaking about people he shot and killed as an officer.
I've killed 13 men in my career. Okay? Justified. In my career, I have shot and killed in the line of duty 13 different people.
You just shot so many?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Justified, bro.
Okay.
Ask around. They ain't gonna tell you no. Got a big corn shootout, man. A cornfield over there. Jimmy Dale Thomas, he worked it. Justified, bro. I shot that 119 times. Okay? I don't give a if you kill a with a cold blood.
Do it. Right.
Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yep.
I will articulate to fix the problem. And I'm the only man in the business here that's smart enough to do it, I promise you.
But that's not all. Hooker says Dobbins also made negative comments towards the LGBTQ community.
I don't talk for years. I don't talk. I ain't got nothing for you.
Comments.
Here we go.
Disgraceful. Officer Robert Lee Hooker.
Hold on a second, man. Hold on a second. First of all, shout out to Robert Lee. Shout out to that brother. Got him. Got him. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you do that. That's how you do that. But you see how they try to squeeze in the LGBT shit at the end? But that's not all. He's also on tape saying some disparaging things about gays and queers. Listen, man. Did he shoot a queer 119 times? Did he shoot a queer down in the cornfield 119 times? Did he shoot and kill 13 queers, gays, lesbians, transgenders? Or did he shoot a black man 119 times and kill 13 other black people? They're always trying to do some false comparisons and shit. Okay, he says some shit. He says some shit that offends people who have a certain sexual preference. But he ain't harmed them, though. He ain't targeting them, though. They always got to try to squeeze somebody else up in there. They always got to try to squeeze. If it ain't black and brown, they're going to squeeze the LGBT up in there. They're going to squeeze the small hat community up in there. They always got to try to wedge in some other aggrieved group to try to minimize what it is that we go through as black folks out here, man. Mainstream media tried to highlight the LGBTQ part over his anti-black racism. Right. What the fuck? Shout out to Mama Love in the building. Right. Good point. Great Black Shark said he took that bulletproof warrior training. That's the reason why he said, I'm the only nigga around here that can articulate how to get away with it. He said, I don't care if you shoot somebody in cold blood. He said, I'm the only one that's going to have your back, and I'm the only one that knows how to articulate it in a way so that you can get away with it. Because he took that bulletproof warrior training. That's the reason why he's so confident in that. Even if he did murder a black person within the community, it was because they was black. Right. Right. How would he know? How would he know? Man. All right, family. That pretty much does it for today's episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in with me this afternoon. Make sure that you guys tap back in with us next Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time, for another episode of Sincere Love the Godcast. Nyctegur will be back in the digital building to hold things down with me. Hopefully, I did a good job doing this thing solo dolo today, but I had fun with y'all. I feel like it was a good game that was chopped up today. I appreciate y'all definitely engaging with me and, giving me some energy to bounce off of. Definitely appreciate that. Appreciate everybody hitting the like button, sharing this out, inviting people to come tune in to the Godcast. That's definitely always appreciated as well. What else I want to tell y'all before I get out of here? What else I want to tell y'all before I get out of here? Hold on a second. Appreciate it. Smooth head lives matter. What the hell that mean? What the hell that mean? Great Black Shark. But yeah, guys, make sure that you guys are following me. I'm at Sincere Love the God on all social media platforms. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok as well. I'm on TikTok. I'm doing my thing on TikTok, man. TikTok got a lot of fucking rules, though. I be getting all type of violations over there. For nothing. But tap in with me on TikTok, man. I'm getting pretty active over there. Be going live over there every once in a while. I'll be posting over there more frequently. Yes. Also, make sure that you click the links that are in the description. If you want to get some merch, you know, you could go to AKBAM.com or KingByAnyMeans.com. KingByAnyMeans.com. You could get your Master Elements t-shirts, hats, things of that nature. Also, there's a link in the description where you could stream the music, The Spear and the Shield, me and my brother DJ RP Beats. That's available on all streaming platforms, as well as the new single called Plandemic. All of those links are in the description. So yeah, definitely run them streams up on the music. Definitely follow me on all the social media platforms. Appreciate the Cash Apps as well, man. The Cash App is $Sincere LUV with the number 7. That's $Sincere Love with the number 7. So appreciate the Cash Apps as well. And like I always tell y'all, family, I am not the master teacher, but I am a master student and signal booster for the voices of the new Black media. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'll see y'all next week. Peace and Black love.
Do for self or suffer the consequences. The wisdom of Elijah's inside of the conscientious. So I move.